Okay, hello everyone, and welcome to Tabor Talk. So, here is part two, as I promised, more videos on the Neil Young, Joe Rogan thing, Neil Young, Joni Mitchell, Brene Brown, who's a podcaster, and some other artists are pulling out of Spotify. And last I heard, Spotify has lost $4 billion market value. So last night on Instagram, Joe did a video, and it's really terrific. He really is apologetic. He's humble, and I have it right here. He put it on Instagram, and then this morning it dropped on Spotify. So here we go, Joe Rogan, and I'll talk in a second.
Hello, friends. I wanted to make a video to address some of the controversy that's been going on over the past few days. And first of all, to say thank you to everyone that sent love and support. I truly, truly appreciate it. And it's been very nice to hear from you. I wanted to make this video, first of all, because I think there's a lot of people that have a distorted perception of what I do, maybe based on sound bites or based on headlines of articles that are disparaging. The podcast has been accused of spreading dangerous misinformation, specifically about two episodes, a little bit about some other ones, but specifically about two. One with Dr. Peter McCullough and one with Dr. Robert Malone. Dr. Peter McCullough is a cardiologist.
I watched the book,
and he is
by
the
the way.
most published physician in his field in history. Dr. Robert Malone owns 9 patents on the creation of mRNA vaccine technology.
I'll talk about that afterwards.
And is at least partially responsible for the creation of the technology that led to mRNA vaccines. Both these people are very highly credentialed, very intelligent, very accomplished people, and they have an opinion that's different from the mainstream narrative.
I'll talk a little bit more about that afterwards, but the especially Malone, he's sour grapes. Like, he is not well respected. Let me. I don't want to break him up, but let me go.
Hear what their opinion is. I had them on, and because of that, those episodes in particular, those episodes were labeled as being dangerous. They had dangerous misinformation in them. The problem I have with the term misinformation, especially today, is that many of the things that we thought of as misinformation just a short while ago are now accepted as fact. Like, for instance, 8 months ago, if you said, if you get vaccinated, you can still catch COVID and you can still spread COVID, you would be removed from social media. They would ban you from certain platforms. Now, that's accepted as fact.
Exactly.
If you said, I don't think cloth masks work, you would be banned from social media. Now, that's openly and repeatedly stated on CNN. If you said, I think it's possible that COVID-19 came from a lab, you'd be banned from many social media platforms.
Really
now that's on the cover of Newsweek.
Really?
All of those theories that at one point in time were banned were openly discussed by those two men that I had on my podcast that have been accused of dangerous misinformation. I do not know if they're right. I don't know, because I'm not a doctor, I'm not a scientist. I'm just a person who sits down and talks to people and has conversations with them. Do I get things wrong? Absolutely, I get things wrong, but I try to correct them. Whenever I get something wrong, I try to correct it because I'm interested in telling the truth. I'm interested in finding out what the truth is. And I'm interested in having interesting conversations with people that have differing opinions. I'm not interested in only talking to people that have one perspective. That's one of the reasons why I had Sanjay Gupta on, Dr. Sanjay Gupta, who I respect very much, and I really enjoyed our conversation together. He has a different opinion than those men do. I had Dr. Michael Osterholm on at the very beginning of the pandemic. He is on President Biden's COVID-19 advisory board. I had Dr. Peter Hotez on, who is a vaccine expert. I'm interested in finding out what is correct, and I'm also finding out how people come to these conclusions and what the facts are.
I'm going to continue. I don't want to break up his thing, but there's something called cognitive dissonance. So Joe has taken a position, and then, all right, let me just continue. I'll talk about this afterwards.
Now, because of this controversy, and I'm sure there's a lot of other things going on behind the scenes with these controversies, but Neil Young has removed his music from the platform of Spotify, and Joni Mitchell, and apparently some other people want to as well. I'm very sorry that they feel that way. I most certainly don't want that. I'm a Neil Young fan. I've always been a Neil Young fan. I'll tell you a story at the end of this about
By
that.
the way, one criticism of Joe, and I'm sorry for keep interrupting here, but he repeats himself. Like the Neil Young story, I've heard that at least 100 times, and he'll tell it at the end. I'm going to put this in the comment section anyway. So it's not a huge criticism. Who doesn't? Who's a public figure? You have stories and things that work. Let me continue.
One of the things that Spotify wants to do that I agree with is that at the beginning of
This is
these
good.
controversial podcasts, like specifically ones about COVID, is to put a disclaimer
Exactly.
and say that you should speak with your physician and that these people and the opinions
It seems
that they
so
express
obvious and easy,
are
right?
contrary to the opinions of the consensus of experts, which I think is very important. Sure, have that on there. I'm very happy with that. Also, I think if there's anything that I've done that I could do better is have more experts with differing opinions right after I have the controversial ones. I would most certainly be open to doing that. And I would like to talk to some people that have differing opinions on those podcasts in the future. We'll see. I do all the scheduling myself, and I don't always get it right.
Maybe that's a problem, dude.
These podcasts are very strange because they're just conversations. And oftentimes I have no idea what I'm going to talk about until I sit down and talk to people. And that's why some of my ideas are not that prepared or fleshed out, because I'm literally having them in real time. But I do my best. And they're just conversations. And I think that's also the appeal of the show. It's one of the things that makes it interesting. So I want to thank Spotify for being so supportive during this time.
Dude, they lost
and I'm
$4 billion
very sorry that
because
this
of
is
you.
happening to them, and that they're taking so much heat from it. And so now the Neil Young story.
I can't listen to this again. I'm going to put this in the comment section for those who want to hear the Neil Young story. He used to be, the bottom line is Joe used to be a security guard, and there was this big riot fight, and he quit the job. Maybe some other details I'll leave out, but that's the gist of it. I've heard it 100 times. So yeah, Joe's a good guy. I mean, why do people love him? He's not, I was going to say he's not this asshole. He can be in your face sometimes, but he's generally a good guy. I mean, if he wasn't, I wouldn't listen to him. I mean, I've listened to every single one. I wouldn't say almost every single one. I used to say that, not some of those early days, but for sure, I have not missed a single podcast in 5 years. And I'm talking about, I listen to every single minute of every podcast, even the things I'm not really interested in, like food, I'm not really interested in that. Hunting, I'm not interested in that at all. The car stuff, I'm not a car guy. There's a bunch of other stuff, but he always makes it interesting and entertaining. And I learn a lot. I mean, I'll tell you what an education I've had listening to Joe Rogan over the years, over 10 years now. It really is something else. It's a great show. It's the greatest show ever. What can I say? Although I am critical of Joe, I used to love him more than I used to love him more back then than now. I mean, seems to have drifted over sort of to the right. I wouldn't say to the right. He's still a Democrat, liberal, progressive. But he's really anti the extreme left for sure. But he fucking hates Biden. He doesn't like Fauci. Like his enemy list, he only goes after the liberals. Let me put it that way. Like his top enemy list, he hates Biden, hates Fauci, hates Blasio, hates the Cuomos, hates Gavin Newsom. But you never hear anything about the right, like Ted Cruz or Trump. He doesn't go after Trump at all. Doesn't like him, but he doesn't criticize him. He actually thinks he's funny or something. So that irritates the hell out of me. And by the way, the Biden stuff, he's not nice about it. You know, he comes off like a really nice guy, and he is, but he's cruel with the Biden thing, you know, the dementia and making jokes about he's not shitting in his pants and all that. Okay, I don't want to go over 10 minutes. I'm 9.5. I'll be doing more to come. Interesting. Really good job Joe did. And you could hear, if you want, I'll put the link in the comments section. You could hear about Joe Rogan's Neil Young story for the 100th time. All right. Good friends, good books, and a sleepy conscience. Peace, love, and understanding here on Tabor Talk.